Good day, young people. This is Mr. Fogo. We're going to try this again. So, M3 Business Studies, Mr. Fogo. Your do now. What are some ways businesses can attract the attention of customers? I want you to pause your screen right now. Type all your answers in an email from this video. Send them off to me, Mr. Fogo, at dfogo2. dfogo2 at moed.pm. Pause the screen right now. I'll be right back after you finish answering those questions. We are back. You've answered the question. I hope some of your questions were the things that you have seen businesses advertise on TV. You've seen businesses advertise on social media. They may even send out an email. They may have a business card, word of mouth, many different ways that businesses can advertise their products. So here in the business studies class, are you ready? This is your time to soar. This is your time to soar. So let's continue on. If you look on the left-hand side, here is your agenda. We are going to look at the learning intention. We are going to look at success criteria, some research. We're going to look at the project overview. We are going to watch a video of a young Bermudian, and then we are going to finish off by looking at what I want you to do specifically in the now what section. As always, our guidelines for the Zoom in the classroom: I want you to be safe, be responsible, be respectful, and be ready to learn. So are you ready to move on? So let's look at the project overview. The project that we are working on is the Bermuda Day Spectacular. It is all about celebrating Bermuda, celebrate being Bermudian, celebrating our Caribbean connections, all of the things that we do that make us special as Bermudians. So I want you to pause your screen, read the information right there so you can get a better understanding of the project, keeping in mind at the bottom here, this project is a platform for you to showcase your skills and knowledge at Clearwater Middle School in a way that you can showcase your Bermudian pride. So pause your screen right now, have a read of the project, and I'll be right back after you press play. You've pressed play, and we can move on now. That's your project, the Bermuda Day Spectacular. Let's look at the learning intentions. We have one main learning intention here. It's all about making decisions on productions, price, place, and promotion for a small company. We're going to listen to an interview I did with a business owner, Cyniqua Anderson from Just Dreams, Event Decor and Planning, and you will answer some questions as the video is going on. You can always pause it to write out your answers. And then we are going to give you, in the now what section, as I mentioned earlier, the project for today. Your success criteria: there are 5 things that you want to do to be successful. I have watched the Just Dreams interview. I have answered all the questions within the video. I have identified the products and the services at Just Dreams. I have thought about ways Just Dreams can market their product and their service to attract customers. And I have written down at least 3 ways for Just Dreams to market their business. Keep in mind, your learning intention is always going to be at the bottom of the screen, and you are learning to make decisions on productions, price, place, promotion for a small company. The research: 3 websites. Of course, you can go onto Just Dreams website. The second website is the Australian government website. They have ways that businesses can market their business during the COVID-19. And then you can go onto the socialmediatoday.com site. They have 8 specific ways for the business to stay ahead during the COVID-19 outbreak. So you can go on these websites to get some information to help you with your project. So now let's look at the video I was telling you about. It is Cyniqua Anderson. We are now going to grab it so that we can watch this. To interview some young Bermudians who are business owners and go through that process of what you're thinking, Was it something you always wanted to do? So just to give you this platform, and as I mentioned, we will be taking this to our business studies students to encourage them to look at entrepreneurship. So go ahead, just dreams. Sometimes we just dream.
But I always just dream, I guess. But it's funny. So the story of how Just Dreams started is kind of funny. My whole career is kind of different. I actually I went to Cedar Bridge, obviously. I have a degree from Johnson & Wales University in software engineering. I know it's way 1,000 miles off from what I do now, but I actually got my start in software engineering from Cedar Bridge. So I spent I've always been artistic, always been a creative, always wanted to be artsy. And I had a interest in computers as well. So graphic design was kind of my first love. That was the first thing that I wanted to do. But going to school, it was about you choose the things that makes you the most money. And that's how I ended up in software engineering. But I still always had this love for art. So I spent about 7 years as a software developer at Orbis Investments. And kind of midway through that, I picked up this interest for event planning. I used to do things for my friends all the time. When I had children, I started doing stuff for my kids all the time. And I was the friend that had parties and planned parties and decorated parties. When my kids came, it was always some over-the-top birthday party. Like, Cyniqua, why are you doing all that? It's just a first birthday party. We don't need all of this. Why are you doing that? I love to do it. So I did it. And from there, me doing it for my friends, people started to ask me to do it for them and their kids. From there, I started charging to do it. Because it was getting costly. It was becoming a lot of work. It was taking up a lot of my time. So I started to charge to do it. And about 2017, that's when Just Dreams was born. It was officially a name. And I started doing small things like baby showers and birthday parties. Initially, I worked by myself for a lot of events, but my auntie, Francine Trott, who has been doing weddings and parties all of my life, she's always had an interest. She's like my other mama. And she has that gift. And I think a lot of the gift I get from her. But she began to work with me maybe like 5 or 6 months into Just Dreams. So she's basically just like my right-hand man for the business. So yeah, 2017 we started. And I did it basically on the side of my full-time jobs. Last year, 2019 in July, 2019 in general, I started to do weddings. I started to do bigger events, corporate events, not just my friends and family stuff. It kind of got serious. Maybe around 2018, it got serious, I guess I would say. And 2019, I got to the point where I was turning down jobs because I was turning down jobs for Just Dreams because I had a full-time job. And it's like, I had to think about it. It's like, what was my end goal? Was me as in IT, as a software developer, my end goal, or was Just Dreams where I wanted to be? And Just Dreams was what made me happy. And because I was I was having to turn down events because I still had my full-time job that I actually hated to go to, I decided that I was gonna go all the way and leave my job. So in July 2019, I left my job. I was the assistant manager of data management at HSBC. So I left there to pursue Just Dreams full time. And so I guess it would be a year next month that I have been full time with Just Dreams. I have no regrets. I absolutely love what I do every day. I get up every day excited to go to work. It's a blessing that I can do what I love for me and for all the people who I get to help beautify their events.
What's the one thing that you are so glad? So what's the one thing that really brings joy to your heart when you are working for yourself?
The fact that I know where I'm going. I know exactly where I want to be. I know what the end goal looks like for me, and it's really all my doings to get there. I can't blame anything on anybody else. And at the same time, I wouldn't say the credit is all on me, because I have lots of support, tons of support, but I got to pat myself in the back and say, this is Just Dreams is me. This is mine. And I started this, and I'm working so hard for this.
So was it a hard decision you said you talked about leaving your full-time job to go to
It was an easy decision.
Passion.
It was an easy decision to make, but hard to actually do it. Mm-hmm. I was talking about it for months, and it was, you have my mama like, Cyniqua, are you ready for that? I mean, because I have 2 children, a mortgage. At the time, I had a car payment. It was like, are you ready for all of this? Like, you're on your own now. Like, this is it. So for months, I played with it. Like, am I ready to do this? I know they have all these formulas out there that say what you need to do before you decide you're going to go full time. And I know I did not check all the boxes for all of those formulas, but for me, it was my time to go, and it was my time, and I made a decision. So easy decision, but it was kind of hard to actually make it happen.
To make it happen. What are some of the qualities, we teach entrepreneurship in business, and we talk about the qualities of a successful entrepreneur. I know you went through those classes. Did you find that what you experienced in senior school, how your experiences in senior school help you towards your decision or your steps to become an entrepreneur?
I know. It's one thing that I regret at Cedar Ridge. So I took this accounting class. It was, and I never had, I don't want to like toot my horn enough, but I never had issues in school. I was not the top of the class student, but I never was the one who, I wasn't perfect. I was not a perfect student. I didn't study every day. I messed around. I did my homework 5 minutes before class started. I started 15 minutes before the test. But even doing all those things, I never had issues with my grades. So I think that only shows what I probably could have done if I put my time, my energy into it, really. But I remember this one thing I really regret from Cedar Ridge. I took this accounting class at Cedar Ridge. I hated this class. It was so hard. For me, anyway, it was hard. Math wasn't my thing. And I took the accounting class. Miss Morrissey was my teacher at the time. And I remember struggling through it, the beginning of the class, and I think I was stressing out. And one day she sat through it, and I remember her like helping me figure this thing out. And it was like she finally got it to click, and I'm just like, it clicks, it makes sense, it works. And I think I started to enjoy the class from there. I really did start to enjoy that accounting class from her sitting through it and going through it with me. But a lot of the things, like the one part about my business that is not great right now is my accounting. That kind of thing. So that class at Cedar Ridge, like those kind of things is which I would have paid more attention to that could maybe help me now with what I'm doing now. Like I can plan a wedding, I can design a wedding, I can, coordinate with vendors, but to manage my books, now that's where it's a whole nother story for me. So one regret that I do have is not paying attention in that accounting class at Cedar Ridge.
Well, I took accounting in college, got A's, but I never taught it at Cedar Ridge because I wanted the students to pass and to understand it. Because it's still hard for me to try to figure out the accounting. But looking at middle school students, we will be talking with some middle school students, showing them the video. What advice would you have to them?
I would say to find what your passion is, find what interests you, find what makes you happy, find what you're good at, and make sure you become the best at it. Like when you're the best at what you do, it's hard for people to go to anybody else. Like if you want to be a chef, don't just be a chef, be the best chef. If you want to be a hairdresser, don't just be a hairdresser, make sure you're the best hairdresser. You could do what somebody else around the corner can do. So practice at what you do, work hard, strive to be the best. Don't just be mediocre. which is what I probably would say in high school was kind of the things I did. I played around. I didn't leave Cedar Bridge with a great GPA. That was another one of the things that I regret from Cedar Bridge. It took me to after Cedar Bridge, after college, during college to kind of really kick things, figure out like this is what I want to do and kind of get serious about it. So at that age, at the middle school age, high school age, if you are serious about what you want to do and you really put your all into it and study hard and practice, and you can start your business in middle school. You don't have to wait to college. You can start those things early. If you want to fix cars, hook up your friends on the side. Do stuff for friends and family. Watch YouTube videos. Start early, but just perfect what you do. Don't just be basic. Make sure you're always the best. Strive to be the best, and don't just settle for second.
And that takes us right into some of your work. You said, don't strive to be the basic. I took a balloon decorating class in Tampa. And one of the things they taught us was, I forgot what it's called, the air inflator, and it blows the balloons up the same size. Yes, it blows the balloons up, because if I'm going through the airport, I want to use the word inflate instead of blow up. It inflates the balloons to the same size. What I love about your designs, the balloons are not the same size. Yeah. And I love it. Yeah. And I love it. It ran against my the training I have, but I am just in love with your designs, looking at your website. And I love how you incorporate sometimes different material inside of your designs. Your logo is ever present here with the Just Dreams. And this circle, on the right here, we may just think it's simple, but it is just amazing.
Thank you.
It is just amazing. Thank you. I always love the balloons with lights in them and things like that. So how do you come up with some of your ideas?
Some of it starts with, if a client gives you inspiration, gives you a color, gives you a theme, sometimes it just triggers something. And that trigger kind of makes you to go and look other places, look to Pinterest, look to Google. And then I have my trusty sidekick, my auntie, who we have like brainstorming sessions, and we would just sit there and go at it and come up with a lot of these things. So I love a good theme. I love different colors. I love things outside of the box. So if you come at me with a different theme, different colors, you want to do something crazy, I'm all for it. And the ideas just start ticking.
Awesome.
What I do like is your professionalism. I was doing an exhibit at the same time you were. It was at Fort St. Catherine. It was the first time that they had it at Fort St. Catherine.
You broke up a bit. Can you repeat that?
You're breaking up, Michelle.
My connection is the worst right now. Can you hear me better?
Yes.
Okay, so I said I was at an exhibit. I was exhibiting at the same time with you. It was a bridal expo at Fort St. Catherine.
So that was actually my first. That was actually my first experience of doing, I guess, wedding styling. That was my first time. So that was in 2018. My auntie, who actually works at the fort, she runs the fort. She said they was having this wedding show up there. So I was like, cool, we gotta have a table. So yeah, that was my first experience of doing like a real kind of wedding setup.
And your tables were gorgeous.
Thank you.
Because I remember you had like a bright orange. I remember the theme. Yeah.
Orange. Yeah. So yeah, that's still one of my favorites now too. I still love the pictures from that. And it's fun that one of my biggest weddings I did last year. So last year we did an Indian wedding last year. Like 225 people. Actually, Dean helped me with this wedding. Like 225 people. It was at Hamilton Princess, 3 days of events. And we actually got that client from that wedding show, that bridal show at Fort St. Catherine. They came to that bridal show. And then we booked them for the wedding last year. So it definitely was a good experience for us.
Awesome. Now, if someone wanted to book I'm grabbing your contact information. If you can walk them through the process of contacting your business.
So our website is justdreamsbermuda.com, and there's a contact button at the top of the page. If you would like to request a quote, Dean, if you can click the button that says request a quote. Yeah, so if you could put in all your details here, details of your event, time, location, budget, the theme of your event, as much details as possible that can help me put together a design. You can do that all online and submit it here. And then,
awesome.
Then we'll get back to you.
So, Cyniqua, how has the pandemic affected your business? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No, go ahead, because I was going to ask that also, what changes and things like that. Yeah.
Right. So typically my target customers are corporate companies, larger clients. Like I look for bigger events, not typically the 1 to 2 person events. So because obviously we can't have large weddings, we can't have corporate functions, I've had to totally change my business model to not focus on the scale of clients, because my target clients are no longer having events. So I've had to shift and look at how I can still do small events to help people celebrate during this time. So I've did some 1 to 2 person, like anniversary stuff, date night stuff. On Mother's Day was like kind of the first day that we was kind of back in business. I think I did like 5 or 6 tables for Mother's Day. I just drove around. I started in Somerset and came down to St. George's, and we just did Mother's Day setups for people's houses for the family. So I'm totally open right now to doing at-home stuff for people. If you still want to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, I'm still open to doing smaller 10, 15, 20 person events, whatever the government maximum is at the time. I'm still open to doing this, but I definitely have to totally think about how I can still, keep the business going during this time. Like I have a physical storefront. It's not just out of my house anymore. I have a shop, so I have to still pay rent. I still have to, keep the lights on here and internet. So I've had to think about how I can still help my clients during this time.
Now, can they, you mentioned you have a storefront. Can they come walk in?
Yeah, you can walk in. Though right now, because it's just me, I'm not always in the studio. Once I have events, I'm out. So I recommend that you book an appointment online. You can do that through my website as well. It's a book online button. You can just book it there. And so, I will always have a time here, but you can come in. All the items that I use for events are available for rent. So that's kind of stuff that you see behind me: pillows, cake stands, lanterns and stuff. All this stuff is available for rent. So even if we can't do your at-home functions for some reason, we are open to renting out our stuff to clients, so you can create your own at-home functions.
Normally, you're speaking of what's behind you. Normally, I just have the screen up, but since I have the black shirt on today, my head was just showing. So I put my little things in the back here. So did I do a good job?
I think you did. I think you did.
Okay.
I like the 3 different sizes.
Okay.
You did good.
Because I only had 2, and I was like, oh, right, it's supposed to be odd numbers.
You did good.
Excellent. And then I can just, when the night comes, I can light the candles.
For a little ambiance, right?
Yes, for the ambiance. It actually has a, and I need to probably give this to you. I had a wedding I did. Inside, you can put like the candle inside and stuff.
Nice. And we'll like the letters.
So, and love. And I have one that says happily ever after. I think it was a wedding that I did on my church with Francine. Yes. So any last thoughts right now you want to leave us with? As I said, we're going to show this to our middle school, but it's also going on Facebook Live and also on YouTube. And I can send you the link once the YouTube link comes out. Any final thoughts?
I guess what I would say to my middle school self, is like, it's not, you don't have as much time as you think you have. I remember being in middle school thinking like, college is a lifetime away. You know, it's job and careers, it's a lifetime away. It's really not. You don't have as much time as you think you have. Again, like middle school, I had no problems in middle school as far as education wise, but behavioral, I was probably a nuisance in middle school. I wasn't probably a nuisance, I was definitely a nuisance in middle school. And I remember it held me back from doing things that I could have done. For instance, I remember I was on the, back then they had the general knowledge quiz. It was come on TV every year. And I remember I was a captain of the team and got in trouble. And then couldn't do it. But I just remember stuff like that. Like and those things follow you. Even like in high school again, like I finished Cedar Bridge with a 2.4 GPA. And honestly, for me, it's compared to what I could have graduated Cedar Bridge with, it's not acceptable. Looking at it now, I graduated college with a 3.8 GPA from college. And to leave high school for 2.4, this is not even the same person. But it's because I played around. I thought I had time. I thought I had time to get it together. And I didn't. So, and another thing that I also tell students is it's okay to kind of have a change of heart and switch gears kind of midway through. And the reason I say that is because, again, like I went to school for software engineering. You wouldn't think now. I tell people that as a wedding planner, I'm also a software engineer. And it's like, where did that happen? How does that even make sense? But my website, I did that myself. And that's because of what I learned as a software engineer. So I still use the skills that I have, just not in the same way. But again, I started off one way and had a almost 10-year career in that, and I switched. So another thing I would tell people, don't kind of feel discouraged if you are not quite sure what you want to be, where you want to go yet. Just make sure if you do have more than one focus, if you do have more than one passion, put just as much as work into both of those things, and just work hard at both.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Just Dreams Decor Event Planning and Decor down there in St. George's.
Yeah.
We have been talking to Cyniqua Anderson. JustDreamsBermuda.com is the website. Go on there, support our young person right here.
One more thing I would add, Dean. If there are students who are interested in event planning, wedding planning, event design, I'll be interested in talking to them. I'm always looking for help at the shop. I always need people when I have large events. I'm always looking for help. So if it is people who are seriously interested, and I say seriously interested, not, play around stuff. If you're really interested in doing it, I'll be more than happy to talk to you, and you can come down and work with me sometime.
Excellent. Thank you very much for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yes, no problem. Take care. Yes, that was an interview we had with Cyniqua Anderson from Just Dreams Event Planning and Decor. So let's see, now what? You've watched the video, so you've been successful in that. Answer all the questions within the video, send them to me via email. Identify the products and services at Just Dreams. Think about ways Just Dreams can market their product and their services to attract customers. And last but not least, write down at least 3 ways for Just Dreams to market their business. Your learning intention, you're looking at ways that a small business, a small company can make decisions relating to promotion, to production, to price, and to place of their products and their services. So looking at business studies, this is your time to soar. As Cyniqua mentioned, she encouraged you to set yourselves apart from the rest. Just don't be normal, just don't be average. Be the best at what you can be. And here in the business studies room, I just want to remind you that this is your time to soar. This has been Mr. Fogo with Business Studies. Continue to enjoy and continue to set yourself apart from the rest. Carpe diem, seize the day.